Everyone loves talking about Steven Singer, my good friend Steven Singer. You've heard the expression a million times. I hate Steven Singer because most other jewelers hate him. They can't stand the guy. Why, you ask? Because Steven Singer delivers the best quality, real diamond jewelry at the very best possible price every single day. He makes it so easy to buy real diamond jewelry for someone you love. And he makes it fun. Yeah, I'm not kidding. No phony sales, discounts, or pricing games. Steven wouldn't treat his friends any other way. So why would he treat you differently? Steven Singer. He's a jeweler you can trust. Steven also has the best guarantee in the jewelry business, a full 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, plus fast, free shipping all year long. Experience the difference. Visit our good friend Steven Singer in his showroom at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or more conveniently online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Real, natural, rare, earth-born diamonds from a real jeweler you can trust. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, it certainly is the Anthony Cumia Show. Another Sunday night. Look at that. How quickly they go by, don't they? Still light out for most of the people, I guess. I guess for everybody. What am I talking about? Always nice to see. I'm one of those I like it lighter, later kind of guys. I think my dog's barking. See, the cat and the dog, it's like a cartoon over here. Just picture a cartoon where a guy is in his studio trying to do his show, and right outside the door, the cat and dog are chasing each other. I'm not bragging, but it's a pretty big house. Pretty big house. But they have to do it right outside the door so everyone can hear the barking dog on the Anthony Cumia Show here on a wonderful Sunday night. I'll see if someone else in the house notices and dispenses with the noise. In the interim, I do apologize. I hope your dog and cat people. It's no lie. When you have both, oh boy, what an adventure it has been. Got this dog a few weeks ago. He's Belgian Malinois, and they're wild animals. These things are insane. They're police dogs. They're army dogs. You get clips on YouTube. They throw them out of helicopters and like attack people. Yeah, one of the funniest bits I saw Shane Gillis doing was when he was talking about the dogs when they killed El Zarqawi or El Baghdadi, one of those daddy Zowie guys. And it was like, yeah, the dogs got him. He was crying. It was like, yeah, that's the kind of dog I got. The ones that make terrorists cry because they're being eaten. But I think we've gotten rid of the barking issue. Welcome. Always good to be back here on a Sunday evening with all you fine folk out there. Latest breaking news right off the wire. The wire these days is social media, X especially. We used to have to wait for news. That was crazy. What happened? I don't know. Got to wait until the 6 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news. And you just would not know anything that happened. Maybe if you were in your car and you had a news station on. But for the most part, you didn't know. You'd be hanging out, and then at 11 o'clock, you'd hear like, oh, Ronald Reagan was shot or something. But now, you go to social media, in mere minutes, you see exactly what happened. And Joe Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive, they say. They really are focusing on that word, aggressive form of prostate cancer. I got the prostate T. They say it metastasized. He's got aggressive form of prostate cancer, and they said it had spread into his bones. Yee. That doesn't sound good. I don't care who you are. But the timing is a little suspicious, wouldn't you say? I don't think everything needs to be some conspiratorial episode, but, what are we supposed to do? Believe everything these people say? They've lied to us forever. And the Biden administration and the news and the rest of the Democrats, they've just lied nonstop. Every single thing that they said was a lie to the American people. So I'm not taking anything they say at face value. I assume he does have prostate cancer, and I assume it's an aggressive form, and I assume that it spread to his bones. Did he just find this out? That is what I think is doubtful. Doubtful that he just found this out. And there's no real hiding things anymore. It's really amazing what you just took it at face value years ago because it was in the paper or the news was talking about it. And that's all you had, and you'd accept it, and that was it. Move on with your life. But now, you have to sort out the experts that pop up in everything. Everyone's an expert in whatever is going on that given day on social media. Oh, boy. Never seen so many experts. So now we have a lot of oncologists and a lot of doctors, I guess. Just the other day, I don't know, they were experts on legal matters. They were all lawyers. And then I guess yesterday, when that Mexican ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, everyone was a sailor. Everyone was an expert sailor. It's just astounding, the expertise we find. And it's all the same people, so that's really amazing. Multifaceted. So now everybody is apparently an oncologist and knows everything about cancer. But the real thing here is that they lie. They're liars. The Biden administration and the media, that propaganda wing for the left that gave him all of their resources to mislead, lie, blatantly lie to the public. So I don't believe it. I think my opinion and a lot of opinions of the people on social media, not the experts I just referenced, but just people, regular people who kind of have the same idea of what's going on. The consensus seems to be that Joe has had cancer for quite some time. He was diagnosed with some form of cancer a few years ago, people believe. There was a speech he gave. He was talking about living in Delaware and his dad or somebody putting the windshield wipers on and oil would smear across the windshield in the morning. And he said, that's why me and a bunch of people I know have cancer. And of course, everyone was like, oh, he just misspoke. Oh, it was his stutter. Must have been his famous stutter that he never had up until about a decade ago. But, yeah, I mean, he kind of fessed up to it there. The way they hid his blatantly obvious dementia, why would I give him the benefit of the doubt on this and say, oh, well, they're saying that he just found out Friday about this diagnosis. So why wouldn't I believe them? Well, because they've lied to you and everyone else in this country incessantly for the entire time, even before he was president, during that basement campaign he had. And it's also very convenient. I think they were going to try to hide this, I don't know, till they put him in the ground. What's the MO, as they say, to hiding this? Did they want a little more time to pass before they could put this news out there and not get as much criticism from people that would have said, well, if you knew he had cancer, why the hell were you still making him run? You were still backing him and putting him up there as a candidate, an incumbent presidential candidate, when they knew he had dementia and cancer. Maybe they just want that to be in the past a little more. I don't know. I don't know what their motive would be to hiding the fact that he had cancer. But I definitely think they did hide it. And the release of Jake Tapper's new book, Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. What a long title that is. And this book is selling like it's not even officially out yet. It's already a bestseller, I guess, in pre-release and orders. But this thing's just going to be an ATM for Jake Tapper. He's going to make bank on this book. And, you know, the sympathy angle. They're like, well, yeah, he's screwed up. He's got cancer. Maybe we could get the sympathy angle playing here. So let's release this news that he has cancer. We'll say he just found out. And then again, a lot of people say this type of cancer, this aggressive cancer, it went from a nodule, from what they said on Friday, to very aggressive, and it's gone into the bones. Well, I'm not an oncologist, but I think I know enough to know that that doesn't happen overnight. That's not something that happens that quickly. And that's why I'm being led to believe that this is another lie from Biden and his people, his puppet masters, the administration. Because, hey, be honest, it's a little hard to start trashing somebody when they have cancer. An old man with cancer. A little more difficult to really crap on him. As a matter of fact, even Donald Trump put out a nice statement. Because this is what you got to do. You got to put out your nice statement when something like this happens. And literally the day before, he was jumping all over Sleepy Joe, Alzheimer's Joe, whatever he was calling him. But Trump's statement was, Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest wishes to Jill and the family. The family? Really? Really, Donald? Hunter? All them? The whole family, huh? And wish Joe a fast and successful recovery. Fast and successful. The odds kind of don't dictate that, but okay. And this is just what you have to do. It's so phony. It's just so fake and phony. But we'll talk about this a little more at the other side of what they call the break. If you want to call the show, of course you can. You know I love taking your calls. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. And whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about this, other things I discussed during the show, give us a call. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, I don't know, whatever this is with Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis, right after these words.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, it is. You're listening to the Anthony Cumia Show on this beautiful Sunday evening. I hope you are all well. Joe Biden, of course, the news that he has prostate cancer, diagnosed with it Friday. And apparently it's already spread. This is a guy, the president of the United States, even when he's out of office, has some of the greatest medical care in the country. And it's not like he's been out of office for years and might have kind of blown off examinations or something. This guy had a presidential examination 6 months ago. So what's the story here? Honestly, this the speed at which the diagnosis and then aggressive and in the bones, it doesn't make sense. We've seen presidents go through this when they're in office. You know, Ronnie Reagan, he always had, what did he have, like colon polyps all the time. Gotta keep pulling. Mommy, I've got some more colon polyps. Put them in the jar next to the jelly beans. Always colon polyps, and it wasn't advanced. They found these things lickety-split, if I may say, if I may use the medical jargon. They found these things. They took him out, and he was dandy afterwards. It's very rare that a president is diagnosed with something that is already in an advanced state. And that's what this is, an advanced state of prostate cancer. So, yeah, I have a hard time believing they just found this out. And it's right after the, what's his name? Robert Hur, the Robert Hur recordings. You remember that guy? He was kind of taking a deposition, a recorded deposition for Joe Biden. They were going over all the hoopla about the confidential documents that were left in his garage and whether Joe Biden should face the judicial penalties of that like Trump did. So they interviewed him. This guy interviewed him, Robert Hur, and they never released the recordings. And Robert Hur actually said, hey, this seems like a guy who will probably get a lot of sympathy if people listen to these tapes. They would or listen to him testify. They'd hear an old guy who seems confused, a little frail. And when he said that, the media jumped down his throat. You liar! You lie. He's in perfect health, physically and mentally. And so it kind of went off the front burner for a while. And then these tapes were just released. And Biden did not know the date of his son Beau's death, where he was during that time, what year he was president or vice president. It was stunning how out of touch Biden was at that time. And that, I believe, was around October of 23. So, tack a couple of more years on that dementia, or a year and a half onto that dementia. It doesn't get better. I assure you, dementia doesn't get any better. So that comes out. Jake Tapper's book is coming out, which really makes it look bad. Not so much for Biden, but for every single bastard around him. His staff, his family, Dr. Jill, mainstream media, all of them were lying through their teeth, trying to prop this guy up to drag him across the finish line for the 2024 election. And we saw how that worked out. It failed miserably. But all of this is coming out, and all of a sudden, Joe Biden has cancer. Advanced, not just diagnosed with something, a little growth on his pinky toe that they cut off. This is, at least it sounds pretty serious. This sounds pretty serious. I don't know. Let's see. We'll go to with Tommy. How do I take this call? All right. Tommy in Connecticut. If we could plunk him down. There it is. How you doing, Tommy?
And I'm loving the show. I'm doing great.
Thank you, friend.
Listen, Biden either didn't get any treatment or the treatment didn't work, because we know damn well the doctors he sees a doctor every 6 months, and they were probably hiding it. They didn't want him to expose it during the campaign. But you know what I look at? I see it like he's a guy with he has cancer. But the thing with Biden is, and the problem with him is, he's a big vote getter. That's why Obama put him on the ticket. He's a big vote getter. Go Buchanan, go, baby.
Is this Steve?
Go Buchanan, go, baby.
I thought it was Steve. Go Buchanan, go, baby.
You're a man, Anthony.
Take it easy, bro. All right. I think my phones are a little screwy where I don't have as much control as I did with picking up and putting down as I did the other day, but we'll figure it out. Yeah. I mean, it is Steve from Manhattan, but he does make a valid point. Let's take one more. Rob. See if we can't go to Rob. There he is. Rob, what's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Union Jersey. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good. Listening to all this and just remembering back when they stole the election. That's what I'll say. But I'm thinking, he had this issue going on for that time.
Yeah.
He's now all of a sudden he's dying, if they want to call it that. They knew that already. Now, with all that said, they knew that already. They put Kamala in, hoping he would die before the 4 years so she can get in. And that's my opinion on it.
Right. That's why they were trying to. That's why they were trying to drag him across the finish line, because they knew if he couldn't run, they'd have a really tough time getting anyone else, especially Kamala, as the president. Right. But if he won, and a few months later, 100 days into office, he has to back out because now he has cancer, then she's the president. They got exactly what they wanted. And fortunately for the country, that didn't work out that way, and he could not keep going for that long. So who knows? Who knows?
Biden was a hard hit. He didn't want to go anywhere.
Yep.
He said,
all right, bro.
I'm staying. Hey, listen, thank you.
I appreciate the call, my friend. Take it easy, man. Oh, you can hang up when these guys drop. Well, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, people are seeing it. People see what's happening here. It's not... they're not hiding it anymore. And they can't really hide it anymore. I was thinking earlier that there isn't such thing as plausible deniability. It's... we'll be right back after this break.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Everyone loves talking about Steven Singer, my good friend Steven Singer. You've heard the expression a million times. I hate Steven Singer because most other jewelers hate him. They can't stand the guy. Why, you ask? Because Steven Singer delivers the best quality, real diamond jewelry at the very best possible price every single day. He makes it so easy to buy real diamond jewelry for someone you love. And he makes it fun. Yeah, I'm not kidding. No phony sales, discounts, or pricing games. Steven wouldn't treat his friends any other way. So why would he treat you differently? Steven Singer. He's a jeweler you can trust. Steven also has the best guarantee in the jewelry business, a full 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, plus fast, free shipping all year long. Experience the difference. Visit our good friend Steven Singer in his showroom at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or more conveniently online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Real, natural, rare earth-born diamonds from a real jeweler you can trust. Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome back, the Anthony Cumia Show. We'll go to the phones a little more. Peter from Long Island. What's up, Peter?
Oh, Anthony, it's great to hear you. And I know that I just saw an ex, Tony Danza, says he sends out his thoughts and prayers.
Tony Danza, thoughts and prayers to President Biden because he's got prostate cancer. Yeah.
He's got the big casino.
The big casino, Tony.
I do insurance for how do I say this, for productions.
You're bragging.
And
Are you bragging about your job?
No. It's a horrible thing because when somebody dies, I'm the first guy to hear about it. But what happens is there is no way they did not know this for, I'm going to say, more than 3 years because there's so many different signs along the way. And I think you're spot on. I think they released it to get sympathy because this book is going to bury him.
Yep.
Well, maybe not the book, but it's just this is just typical nonsense. And I think anybody that would have taken an insurance policy out on him, because maybe he doesn't have one, and maybe that's maybe Jill just didn't think this out. So
I doubt that. I doubt that. I think she's just trying to squeeze as much out of him as she can. This kind of reminds me of Ozzy, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy. Like they're the women in their lives. The guy is the one that made it. He's the guy that generated the income and the celebrity and the fact that Sharon could go to all these things and get shows to host. And she needs this guy out there. And it doesn't matter how sick or injured these people are. They're vultures. They're monsters. They shove them out there to, Ozzy, you've got to do one more Ozfest. Sharon, I'm dying over here. What are you doing to me? And it's pathetic. It's sad. And Jill was doing the same damn thing to Joe Biden.
The other thing is he had Parkinson's and nobody wanted to report it.
Right.
The Parkinson's doctor would go to that house every weekend. We had no access. We weren't allowed to know who went, what they were doing, and how long they were there for. And I think that will be the next book. Pleasure to hear you again, man.
Thank you, my friend. Here goes Peter. I don't know. How do I hang up on Peter? I don't even know anymore. There he goes. I mean, it's so obvious when they latch onto these guys and try to just perpetuate the power base or whatever it is. We've seen it happen with so many guys. And Biden's, the latest victim of this. Why do you think they made this fake White House set across the street from the White House? This was one of the most ridiculous things. It hadn't been done before. Trump doesn't do it. When Trump is speaking to the American people from the Oval Office, he's in the Oval Office. But they built a fake White House Oval Office set across the street. And my opinion on this is that any visitor to the White House has to be checked in. They sign in. Who is that? A doctor? Oh, a Parkinson's doctor was at the White House today. Interesting developments. So whenever Biden was going to give a speech to the American people, you damn well know they had to boot this guy up with crystal meth or whatever it took to get him to focus and speak for 10 minutes. So a doctor had to come in. This is my take on it. I assume a doctor had to come in and get this guy prepared to sit there and focus for 10 minutes and talk to the American people. Now, if that was happening in the White House, there would be a paper trail. There would be a record of the people that were there. It's the White House. If it's some half-ass studio across the street that looks like the White House, then a doctor could be there before he goes on and treat him without all the scrutiny from people and the media, although the media wouldn't do anything. But that's my take. That's why they built that fake White House. There's no other reason for it. Why wouldn't you want to talk to the American people from the actual Oval Office and show that you are in the seat of power? Because he wasn't in the seat of power. And they did not want people knowing that doctors were coming there to prep him with whatever it took before he got the cameras in front of him and spoke to the American people. but they still wanted it to look like the White House. And I think they were trying to pull it off as actually the Oval Office for a while. I think they were. It didn't take long before people started going, that isn't the White House. That's not what's on outside. That's not what's outside the window. It's nighttime or there's snow on the ground and there's flowers out there. So, that's what I think, though. I again, have no faith in anything these people tell us. Let's talk to Nick. Nick from Vegas. What's up, Nick?
Anthony, how you feeling, my friend?
Pretty good, my friend.
Good. So I just called in, and you were talking about the docs that they got in to see Biden. I'll bring a name up from the past that maybe you'll remember that also helped to kind of keep a well-known guy in office. Dr. Theodore Morell. That doctor ring a bell?
Yes. Explain.
There you go. That was Uncle Adolf Hitler's doctor that he had pumping him in with methamphetamine at the end. Yes. So interesting correlation you kind of brought up there. But I wanted to shed some light on something else. We dodged a bullet twice now without having the great Kamala Harris as president.
Right.
She lost, and then if he would have won, she'd still be president. Because he'd be dead. Yeah. What do you think? We give him 6 months at this point? 6
months. That was the plan. Like, they wouldn't wait till he died. He would have, retired or resigned, and said, because of health concerns, I am just stepping down. But, boy, that country couldn't be in better hands than this blithering, cackling idiot. So you're right, Nick.
And not that I'm any kind of doctor. But look at all the other famous people that have been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and they've all died either really later than they should have or earlier. Right?
Interesting.
So it should be interesting to see when his number is up, because I don't remember them giving anybody else a 9 on the scale of its intensity.
Yeah. Well, you're in Vegas. You could probably bet on it. Let me know what the odds are, Nick.
Oh, well, I'll start it. I'll start betting tonight. Listen, and again, good job. Lots of luck and congratulations on the new thing. And I hope there's much buzz around what's going on. A lot of buzz. A lot of buzz.
We like our buzz, don't we? Thank you, Nick.
We like our buzz.
Appreciate the support.
My friend. See you later.
All right. Later, man. There goes Nick. Yeah. People get this. They live, and like I said, he's a president. But we did dodge that bullet, man. I don't think, though, like if they would have kept him running, I don't think he would have won anyway. Even though Kamala was a disastrous candidate, I just cannot see him after that debate and how much he had gone downhill between the debate and the actual election in November of 2024, that he would have won. I don't know, though. You can't tell. And maybe they had the cheat set up where it was all Biden ballots, and they just couldn't switch over the cheat for Kamala fast enough. That is absolutely a viable scenario in what happened here. Oh, God, we got Joe Biden. Well, obviously, we're going to cheat like we did in 2020, and then we'll just we'll get him in office. He'll resign after a few months, and we'll have Kamala. But, let's be real. If they were going to cheat, all the stuff would have already been labeled and worked out for Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. So that may have screwed up their opportunity to steal the election, because after that debate, everyone lost faith that they could even fake it and drag him over the line. But that's probably when it really started getting bad, where the doctors were like, yes, he's got cancer and we're not announcing it. So what do we do? What do we do here? We got to put Kamala in. And that's what they did. And thank God Trump won, because that's where we're at now. Oh, God, I wake up in cold sweats thinking about how bad that whole thing could have gone. This kind of ties in with the Tapper book, Original Sin, that's coming out, because everyone is trying to cover their ass on this. All the politicians and the media. You notice now? Everyone does. Of course you notice. You're not all stupid. They are coming forward and saying, yeah, we knew. I said stuff. Oh, I was always, but everyone else didn't say it. And these are, the journalists that we've been used to seeing on mainstream media. Or the politicians. That's another one. Chuck Schumer was recently asked about Biden's cognitive ability and his thoughts on that now that him, Chuck Schumer, the media, fellow Democrats, didn't say anything about any of this. And how does he feel about that? Did he think that there was a cognitive decline in Joe Biden during his presidency? So Chuck Schumer was asked this question, and do you think he actually answers it? Well, let's see, shall we? Chuck?
And they call it a cover-up of Biden's health and his cognition and his fitness, quite frankly, to be president of the United States. You sat next to Biden in the Oval Office February 27th, 2024, just a handful of months before the president took that debate stage. And it was later reported that you and other Democratic leaders were talking before the debate about having a plan. You and Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama. I understand you later denied that ever happened. But I am curious, I'm interested to know whether the man that you saw sitting there on that couch on that day, you were in there, you saw him up close and personal. Did you really not have any idea that he was not fit to serve a second term?
Casey, we're looking forward. We have the largest Medicaid cut in front of us. We have the whole federal government at risk.
You're facing all of this because you lost a presidential election. And is that not Joe Biden's responsibility for deciding to run again?
We're looking forward.
That's it?
That's it.
That's
all right.
it.
Senator Chuck Schumer, I know you got to go. I appreciate your time today.
We're looking forward. That's it. That's it. F you. Go screw. We're looking forward. Looking forward. That's his answer? So, first of all, from the Democrat Party, that, again, the mainstream media just coddles and does the bidding of the Democrats, to have one of these guys, Chuck Schumer, say we're looking forward when all they do is try to dig up garbage from decades ago on their political opponents. But now, oh, hey, please. Oh, that was months ago. What? Yeah, this is recent news. You lied about the president's ability to lead this country. You blatantly lied to the American people about it. And when he's questioned, hey, we're looking forward now. We should be looking forward to a country without Chuck Schumer as a senator. That's the only thing I agree with us looking forward with him not being a senator anymore. Because how do you keep voting this guy in, New York? Boy, New York and California, both states that just have a record, an unblemished record of voting in the same pieces of garbage that screw up your state royally. And every single election, you will vote these bastards back in. And then some of you will even start a bitch about the job they're doing and the horrible taxes and the gas prices and the crime and everything. And then you go into that voting booth and like a zombie, you just lock on and vote for these people time and time again. Chuck Schumer lied to you. He was just asked about it by that reporter, and he refused to answer the question. He knew damn well, like every single one of these Democrats and media, he knew that Biden was not fit to be president, never mind run again to be president. And they're all coming out of the woodwork, and they all have excuses. Who was it? Scaramucci there, Anthony Scaramucci. His tweet was typical. I was misled. What an excuse that is. That is a biblical era excuse. I was misled. I didn't know. People lied to me. How can you be misled about something that is right in front of your face and so obvious? We were talking about, hey, I don't profess to be a genius in the field of diagnosing Alzheimer's patients. I've had loved family members go through it, and it is not pretty, and you know it. There's no mistaking dementia. So back in 2020, during the campaign, people were saying, this guy don't look like the Joe Biden old. He looks like someone with some form of dementia. And boy, you were just chastised for that. The finger shaking you'd get from the media and the Democrats. How dare you? What are you, a doctor? No, but I've seen this before, and that's what it looks like. And now in 2025, the media and talking heads, pundits, and Democrats, all of them knew, and they were misled. They tried to tell their friends and family and coworkers. Oh, they tried. I said this. I remember once in 2022, I said, boy, he looks a little ill tonight. So I knew. We were saying years ago, oh, my God, this guy can't be president. He has dementia. It's obvious. But no. How long, people? How long are we going to continue to be lied to by these same people? Chuck Schumer. So dishonest. Was Chuck down there at the Jewish Day march in New York City? I saw Sid Rosenberg on social media out there. Super Jew Sid Rosenberg. Oh, my God. He's out there. I texted him the other day. I told Sid, he's like the Sonny Corleone of the Jews. He's just ready to pick up a garbage pail lid and start smashing someone's face in with it if they say anything about Israel. I love Sid. He's a maniac. Was Chuck Schumer there? Was he marching in that parade? Did Sid grab him and pound his face in with a garbage pail lid like Sonny? Did he hit him with his own shoes? Did he throw Chuck Schumer's shoes at him? Because I would have loved to have seen that video clip. That's a guy who will go any way the wind blows, Chuck Schumer. And it's disgusting. He's an embarrassment to New York. And I again, please, New York, come to your senses. When it comes to these elections, you know, you're going to vote Cuomo in as New York City mayor. You got Curtis out there. Give him a shot. What am I talking about? I don't know. I left the state. God bless New York. Have a good time with the same rotten politicians you consistently vote in. We'll be back in moments with the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, the Anthony Cumia Show. Thank you for tuning in, folks. We'll take one more call on this, the Biden thing, the cancer diagnosis, the Jake Tapper book coming out, the lies about his mental state and now his physical state. It's just been insane. Liz from Florida. How you doing, Liz?
Hi, Anthony. Great show. Thank you so much for taking my call. Democrats,
pleasure.
they sweep everything under the table, and Republicans want to sweep it back out. So I want to just say that there is no way they didn't know about the prostate cancer. It's usually preventable or treatable. And if it's not treated, it will get to stage 4. My dad had prostate cancer. Thank God they caught it early. But there are symptoms. So there's blood in the urine. There's pain in the back and the hips. There's weakness or numbness in the legs, loss of bladder. And, that's feeling very tired, weight loss. So
oh my God, I'm getting all queasy just thinking about it. Oh, you say these symptoms, I start getting like I feel faint. I hate symptoms. And then I think I have it. Like every time I hear symptoms of something, I think I have it. I might be a hypochondriac there, Liz.
Well, but so Democrats, they don't, they take it for face value. They try to hide it all. And, regarding the election, I really think that we need billboards to show the truth about Cuomo. It should start with Wake Up New Yorkers. And someone needs to just put them all out there.
It's a shame because, look, this guy, Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, he left office under quite a few horrible circumstances. This isn't a guy who should ever dip his foot back into the political pool ever again. The deaths under his watch for COVID, the preventable deaths, not one of these. Look, it was COVID. It did have a fatality rate. People did die from it. But when you put old people in the conditions that he did, and it was his doing, and they died, you are responsible for that, and you should pay for it. And if not, you should never be able to lead again in any capacity. And then the sexual misdeeds, the sexual, not quite assault, but it was just, look, he was harassing coworkers, people that were on his staff. And then he just said, well, I'm Italian, and Italians touch each other when they meet each other up at a wedding or a meeting. It's something ridiculous. And now he's the front runner for the mayor of New York City, replacing another disaster in Adams that they put in there. I don't know what's going on in that state.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. People forget. They need reminders, just like when a woman gets pregnant and has a child, never again, I'll never have another kid. This was just horrible. And then, of course, they're having like 4 more babies. So they need reminders. So I'm telling you,
maybe
the billboards, wake up, New Yorkers. This is, do you remember, was your loved one one of those victims?
Right.
And, that's what I think.
So hard to get New York to pull the lever in a voting booth for someone other than a Democrat, first of all. And if he's going to be the Democratic front runner, then, it's very hard for a Republican to get in there. I mean, the days of Giuliani are gone. It's a whole different world, New York City, than it was even then. And he was coming in during the worst time New York City ever had under David Dinkins. And then Giuliani comes in. They actually voted for a Republican. And now, I don't think we'll see a Republican again. I hope so. I'd like to see Curtis in there mixing it up.
Anthony, Curtis has a chance. And we need to believe it, feel it, and put it out there.
I do.
Right?
I support Curtis.
If you get up in the morning and say, I'm going to have a great day, you're going to have a great day. If you say, it's going to be a bad day. So you put it out there and you just say, Curtis is going to get in. He's going to save us all, and we're going to get a Republican in.
I like the way you think, Liz, but I've been on this earth much too long to agree with it. But thank you, Liz. You're a dear.
Positive thinking, Anthony.
All right.
Okay, you're very smart.
I try. Thank you, dear. Positive thinking. My goodness. I can't believe there's still someone left that believes in positive thinking. It's the hardest thing to do these days. It really is. I want to talk a little bit about this because we'll change gears here, as they say. We've been talking about Biden and this whole thing. But if you still have calls and you want to talk about it, we'll do it for the whole show. But the liberals are the most racist people you will find. I've always known this, but they are showing themselves to be the most racist people in this country. They hide under the guise that they are virtuous. They point out the racists and the Nazis, and they demonstrate so they can never be heard from, you know? We always get that. It's like someone wants to speak at a college, and they're just conservatives, so obviously not anywhere near being fascist Nazis, but that's what the liberals do. And the interesting part of it is they cover themselves in virtue, but they despise and have such stereotypical ideology about a lot of people of color, white people. They are pure racists, too, because they really do hate just about everyone based on nothing but their race. I'll talk about it a little more on the other side of the break, so please stick around. We do appreciate it. Your calls, 800-848-9222. And, we got plenty more of the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday evening with us. And by us, I mean me. I just got a text from my wonderful Uncle Tony. And he's like, yeah, we know Biden, he didn't have his mental faculties, but who was running the auto pen? I'm like, damn, he's right. That is true. That's the big story. Does Jake Tapper hit on that in Original Sin, his book? Because I think this story in maybe short term, but probably more long term, we are going to see that Biden had nothing to do with the office of the presidency. Nothing. He was so out of it. And as it's coming out in the book and this tape that we heard, that, yeah, he was gone. But somehow, bills were getting signed. Executive orders were getting signed with the exact same meticulous signature of Joe Biden. And then the pardons, those preemptive pardons on every member of his family, Fauci, all these people that now have a clean slate from over a decade ago. And we can't even, if we did find something, we can't even prosecute them on it. And Biden protected, or whoever was running the auto pen, protected his family and other people and other people's family with that fake, phony signature of a man that was nowhere near competent enough to make those decisions. So, yeah, thanks, Uncle Tony. Sometimes my uncle still, chimes in and sets me straight on things. I love it. A couple of things that were going on. I was saying that the Democrats, libs, it's one big happy family over there. They are the most racist people you will ever find. And I'm not sure if Donald Trump did this on purpose when he allowed the white South African farmers to come here under the refugee program. Real refugees. A refugee isn't somebody that, they live in an impoverished country. Oh, yeah, there's no work there. The crime is high. It's, it doesn't matter. You're only a refugee if your life is being threatened because of your political ideology, the government in charge, the people in power in the country you live in want to kill you because you are in opposition of their government. That's a refugee. I need to leave or I'm dead. That's it. Not I need to leave or I sleep in a little shack and it sucks. Sorry, but we can't take everybody that has that issue. Most of the world lives in poverty. But South African farmers are true refugees. These people are being murdered, and it is being sanctioned by the government of South Africa. And no one's going to tell me different. You can't sell me on the fact that there isn't genocide going on in South Africa. There absolutely is. And then the Democrats will just be like, well, the South African government says there isn't. Oh, really? So you're taking the word of the people that are actually perpetrating the genocide. That's good. That's brilliant. So Trump goes, yeah, we're taking them in as refugees. And again, I have to think this is Trump exposing them. He does things that gets them so out of their minds that they expose who they really are. With the Doge thing, he gets Elon in charge of Doge, and Doge is in charge of finding the waste, finding the corruption, all those tax dollars that have just been grabbed up by these criminals. And he does that so that the criminals, they expose themselves. Everyone complaining that they're fighting for our tax dollars to not be stolen. If you complain about that, you've just exposed yourself as one of the people that have your hand in the till. So I love it. And I honestly think that this is just another one of those things that exposes the left as the racists that they are. They do not want these South African refugees coming into this country, and there is one reason: they are white. That's it. I cannot come up with one other reason these people would have to not want to take in these refugees. Their families, first of all, I saw the videos. They are, you see a man and a woman and their children. And they're coming in waving American flags. And they're happy to be here. They want to be part of this country and contribute everything they know and they can bring here from their farming in South Africa. Families. You could place one of these families in a suburban American neighborhood, and within a week, they'd be having a barbecue with the neighbors. The kids would be playing, because it's a similar culture, a similar ideology. They have a similar take on right and wrong. They know the difference between good and evil. There's a camaraderie there, a commonality of ideas. And they hold the same things dear to them. Family, work ethic. I want what's best for my family, and I can improve my community by doing just that, improving my family, working hard. All those things seem to be indicative of these South African refugees. And for some reason, some crazy unknown reason, you have the liberal left saying, no, we don't want them. We do not want them here. And you got to wonder, why? These are picture perfect people from another country that would be coming to America and adding something to this country. But they don't want him, and it's because they are racists, the left. Here is, I guess there's a woman here talking about, there's a couple of clips, so you can play either one, exposing that they are racist when it comes to these South African refugees. Let's play.
Yeah, this is for all you YT South Afrikaners that are being shipped in by Trump. You need to know.
And this is a white woman, by the way.
Americans don't want you here. You just jump back on another plane and fly your little racist YT supremacist butts right on back to your country. Go back to Africa. We do not want your racist butts here. You are not welcome in the United States, and Trump is not going to be in charge forever. Yeah, you're not welcome here. We don't want any more Schnauzis in America. We're done. And we're the majority. MAGA wants you to believe they're the majority, but they are not. Just saying. Fly your asses to another country where they want racists like you. Because you're not welcome here.
Can you believe that the liberal left, the wonderful liberals, the Democrats, they're actually saying, go back to Africa to immigrants? Like, I heard that. I'm like, okay, I understand there's a difference there in the Afrikaners in South Africa. And that was a white woman, a dumb, white, liberal. I cannot use the language I want to use on traditional broadcast radio. But, yeah, that woman, how racist is that? Go back where you came from? Go get your ass back to Africa? This is, and I hate in 2025 doing the, could you imagine if it was the reverse? That we get it. We know, yes, it would be incomprehensible. The person's life would be destroyed. They would go, but nothing will happen to her. What she did was she came out of her little cocoon of racism for a minute and poked her head up and went, go back to Africa, you horrible white South African farmers. That is, I don't care who you're talking about. That sounds pretty racist to me. Calling them Nazis. I mean, they're an unbelievably small majority of the population in South Africa, and they're being persecuted and physically harmed, murdered by the majority of people in South Africa and the majority of people running the government. And they don't really seem to care about what happens to these South Africans. So it's crazy. We live in some crazy times. But I think, again, if you want to give Trump that credit, you know, where they always go, he's playing 5D chess. I don't think he's playing 5D chess. But I think he might do certain things sometimes to go, watch what they do when I do this. Like Trump 28. Trump 28 is hilarious. And it got him all revved up. I think Trump does this on purpose. And I think it's hilarious. Back in a minute with the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yeah. Anthony Cumia Show. Ooh, the Chili Peppers. Brings me right back. Coming in at number 5, it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Welcome back, Anthony Cumia Show. Let's take a call from Kevin, the Beach of Long. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Ant.
Hey.
You know these Boers, the South Africans, they're called Boers, which means farmer in South Afrikaner, right?
Yeah.
These guys are fourth and fifth generation. They've been there for 600 years.
Yep. And for some reason,
the biggest money maker in that country is the farming, and these people want to throw them out.
Yeah, it makes no sense. There's no logic to it. These Boers, they came, they were Dutch people. They came hundreds of years ago. to a place in South Africa, in the south of the continent of Africa. No one was there. They didn't get into this big battle to steal anyone's land. For some reason, people feel the entire continent of Africa should only be for people that were born in Africa. That's insanely ridiculous. It's a giant continent full of resources. And these people came over hundreds of years ago and took dead land and farmed agriculture, livestock, and eked out a little enclave for themselves. And it ran well for many years. And now, for some reason, people think they could throw them out and still reap the rewards of what their culture produced down in South Africa. So it's just a bad thing. And for every South Africaner, Boer, that leaves South Africa, there's no one there to take the place of the farmer or the people that know how to run the power plants or the infrastructure. And it just breaks down more and more. And South Africa is turning into a terrible, terrible place to live.
Well, they're following the game plan of Mugabe in Zimbabwe. He tried the same thing.
He
killed half of them, stole the land. The land became completely useless. And the whole country, when they had inflation, they were printing $2 million bills.
It is quite astounding that people don't see it, and the fact that I don't care what happens if the Boers leave South Africa, but to try to say they're not refugees and to try to say that their lives aren't constantly in danger on their farms is delusional, or you're being a racist.
Stadium.
Yeah.
Did you see the soccer stadium video? 40,000 of them screaming, "Kill the Boers, kill the whites."
Yeah, chanting and dancing and singing. It's terrible, man. Thanks, Kev. Later, my friend. He goes, Kevin. We do have fake news. We like talking about fake news. You got my little sounder back in the studio for fake news?
Now.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
It's the fake news.
Fake stories.
News moment.
Fake stories. It is indeed. Van Jones gets this title for fake news. Van, of course, worked under the Obama administration, worked closely with Obama for many years. And then you'd always see him on CNN or MSNBC, whatever these liberal, terrible, fake, phony propaganda news agencies are. He is one of the latest in the long line of journalists and pundits, talking heads, supporters of Joe Biden that are coming forward now and saying, hey, this is terrible. If people were lying about Joe Biden, you were lying about Joe Biden. Everyone you sat next to on every one of those news stations were lying about Joe Biden. So let's hear Van Jones' take on how he feels now that he's trying, like every one of these pieces of crap are trying to work their way out from under this lie that they've constructed over the past few years, that Biden was completely cognizant and ready, willing, and able to be president for a second term. Let's listen to Van.
I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration and loved him more every day. I was shocked to see his condition when he came out, and so was the world. And that wasn't the first time he was in that condition. The book makes it very, very clear. There are people who knew and said nothing. And that is a crime against this republic. And I think the Democrats are going to pay for a long time for being a part of what is now being revealed to be a massive cover-up.
All of them knew. They all knew. I don't know how did it go for so long then? If they all knew and were all talking about it, like, is there one clip of Van Jones on a news show going, this guy needs to go? He is absolutely incompetent. No, not a one. So again, Just another. We've shown many examples here tonight. Just another that will not take responsibility for the lying that went on. And, you know, who was the puppet master? Who were the people making the mainstream media lie about this when it was, again, so obvious? So obvious. That's what they're talking about now, too. They're not even talking about they're not even just talking about, yes, he had problems. He had mental issues. They're talking about how obvious it was and why no one did anything. And the very people that say, why didn't anyone do anything, are the people that didn't do anything. It's amazing to watch. If it wasn't, if you don't think about it too deeply and realize it screwed our country for many years, we're still dealing with problems that were a result of a completely incompetent president being manipulated by other powers that be that were not elected. And we're still dealing with that. It would be hilarious. It would be a comedy. It's a great comedy movie, political comedy movie to put out. Unbelievable. But that's your fake news for this Sunday. Trump's Middle East trip was pretty awesome, I think. A lot of people want to crap all over that, too. I just don't get it. $2 trillion in deals. And I think I'm not going to get into the economics of everything because I'm not an economic expert like people on Twitter. But it's a great switch from the old school, let's try to go to the Middle East and make them take democracy. We'll shove democracy down their throats until they love it. And that didn't work very well over the course of the years. Now, did it? But it's interesting to see that Trump has a different tack here. And I think it's successful not only economically, but politically. And you look at China. China cannot just go to war with the United States. We are both too important financially to each other. I'm sorry it's money that makes the difference and makes it that we get along with China for whatever level we do. We don't like them, but we can't just start bombing China. Our economy would collapse, as would theirs. When you have the almighty dollar as your common interest, like Trump just did in the Middle East with Qatar and Saudi and lifting sanctions, you are now looking at a country that can't just attack you or be in cahoots with people that aren't good to your country. So I kind of like what he's doing with that. We'll be back in moments. Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Everyone loves talking about Steven Singer, my good friend Steven Singer. You've heard the expression a million times. I hate Steven Singer because most other jewelers hate him. They can't stand the guy. Why, you ask? Because Steven Singer delivers the best quality, real diamond jewelry at the very best possible price every single day. He makes it so easy to buy real diamond jewelry for someone you love. And he makes it fun. Yeah, I'm not kidding. No phony sales, discounts, or pricing games. Steven wouldn't treat his friends any other way. So why would he treat you differently? Steven Singer. He's a jeweler you can trust. Steven also has the best guarantee in the jewelry business, a full 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, plus fast, free shipping all year long. Experience the difference. Visit our good friend Steven Singer in his showroom at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or more conveniently online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Real, natural, rare, earth-born diamonds from a real jeweler you can trust. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes. Former shock jock Anthony Cumia with you this Sunday evening. Let's talk to the lovely Susan from just very vague upstate New York. Susan, what's up?
Oh, my. Well, listen, I want to try to tie a couple topics together when you're talking about how the Democrats' policies are, their results are hurt the minority communities. I'm going to move to the domestic side when we speak about education and how minority children are disproportionately trapped in failing and dangerous schools.
Susan, can I interrupt you for a second? Are you the same Susan I accused of drinking last call?
Oh, you mean that you gave me a sobriety test or something?
You sound like maybe you've had a couple of beverages this evening. Maybe brunch. Did you keep going from brunch, a mimosa, and then you just kept going?
That sounds lovely, but no, it wasn't.
All right. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Midwest, so this is just how we talk. I'm really Midwestern, and this is just our cadence.
So your dialect is intoxicated. I like it.
Ooh.
I'm good.
Ooh.
I've been there. All right, Susan. I hate to have interrupted you, but go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
No, because I really think you were bringing up a very good point.
Of course.
And I wanted to bring it home to and actually Donald Trump and all the whole movement to try to mitigate this dysfunction and how it does disproportionately affect the minority communities and children because the outrageous lack of being able to, read, write, do math.
Right.
We're seeing, especially in the urban areas where guess who has been in charge for decades?
Well,
it
the
has
Democrats.
been the Democrats.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is crucial right now. And then bringing it back to another topic that you discussed, which was how New York City, which I lived there for several decades before I escaped, so that I wouldn't get thrown into.
Susan, let me just pop in here for a second to let you know, and it's something you could understand. Last call. I'll just call last call for this phone call. So it doesn't mean you got to stop, but. You keep going, but you have to know we're shutting everything down. We're starting to clean up and put the chairs upside down on the bar and on the tables.
Last call for alcohol, but you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here or something like that.
So
I've heard that a few times, but that was way in my youth. And,
just finish it up, Susan, and we'll be fine.
No, Curtis Lewa has an enormous opportunity right now to get onto the school choice issue instead of. I love cats and dogs and all that. If he spoke about the children's issue as much as he does about cats and dogs, he will get elected because that constituency is very interested in school choice, and the Republicans own that issue. He needs to get on it. He can win, and I don't know why crime is important, but I think that this is an enormous opportunity. I hope I spoke to him many times about it after midnight. I get to speak to you, at this hour. You know what? I'm just passionate. I'm sorry.
I love it, Susan. I love it. I thank you for your phone call, and I thank you for tuning in on Sunday nights. Thank you so much, Susan. You be well. Ooh, a little bit of a couple of nips in the bottle during that. Yeah. Sounds like Susan's still on the line. Wow. She seems like a fun gal. I used to call them fun gals back in the old days. You gotta love it, right? Please, of course you do. Hillary Clinton. I don't mean to make any comparison to Susan and Hillary Clinton, but Hillary Clinton, she pops up every so often, and there's videos. I don't know what she's doing. She's on a stage somewhere. There's a backdrop with some organization that I've never heard of that I'm sure is just shoveling money over to her Clinton Global Initiative. where, they'll later use it for maybe now a granddaughter's wedding or more payola for somebody to not make sexual assault allegations against her husband, Bill. Whatever it is, I'm certain it's worthy of Hillary Clinton. So she's ripping on, get this, traditional families. I really never thought it would get so out of hand in this country that we would look at people, families, husbands and wives, having children as a bad thing. Like, not just, well, I don't mind that people aren't having kids, we should have less people, whatever that argument is, but actually getting up and saying, if you are telling people that you should be having more kids, if you're telling people of the United States that our birth rate is dropping and it's a little alarming and perhaps we should start concentrating more on the family unit and the woman being a mom and the dad being the father and the provider that goes to work, traditional families. And this is now looked at like some type of horrible lifestyle that should be shunned. And Hillary Clinton is one of those people who are going out and trying to spread this, that families are bad. And in this clip you're going to hear, she actually says, no, we don't need Americans to be having more kids. That's where the immigrants come in. They can fill the void that's being left by Americans and American families not having kids. Just when you think she couldn't be a bigger piece of garbage, she shows up and proves, yes, I can be an even bigger piece of garbage. So listen to Hillary's take on traditional families and immigration, and I cannot stand this woman.
As I posted the other day, very blatant effort to basically send a message, most exemplified by Vance and Musk and others, that, what we really need from you women are more children. And what that really means is you should go back to doing what you were born to do, which is to produce more children. And they're talking about, cash benefits for the more children you have. This has been tried, by the way, in other countries, and it has not worked. Or medals if you have 6 children, while they're contemplating cutting Medicaid, while they have no interest in paid family leave or funding quality child care. They're cutting Head Start. I mean, you go down the list of all the programs that support child rearing and the care of children and create, some safety net for women who are in the workforce, the formal workforce, as well as, raising children. So this is another performance about concerns they allegedly have for family life. But if you had read the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, despite Trump saying he knew nothing about it, if you had read it, it's all in there. It's all in there. Return to the family, the nuclear family, return to being a Christian nation.
Terrible.
Return to, producing a lot of children.
Imagine
which
that.
is sort of odd because the people who produce the most children in our country are immigrants and they want to deport them. So none of this adds up. But, one of the reasons why our economy did so much better than comparable advanced economies across the world is because we actually had a replenishment, because we had a lot of immigrants legally and undocumented who had a larger than normal by American standards family. So this is just another one of their make America great again by returning to the lifestyles and the economic arrangements of not just the 1950s. I mean, let's keep going back as far as we can, and see what happens.
All right. I'm sorry I subjected you to that level of Hillary Clinton. That was like nuclear bomb levels of that woman. But we heard quite enough of what she was talking about. This, by the way, remember they would say that talking about the great replacement theory was racist and a conspiracy, that it wasn't happening. When young white men got up and said they will not replace us, and they lost their minds over how horrible and racist that was. And now she's just openly saying exactly that. That is exactly what she's saying. Oh, Americans, people, and you know what she means, having kids. They're trying to tell these people, Trump and Musk are telling people to have kids. Well, we have immigrants, illegal or not, and they're having kids. So you don't have to worry about it. They have bamboozled the American populace into believing that if you are a woman and you marry a man and you have a family where you take care of the kids as the woman, and the man goes out and works and gives that family the financial support they need, that is horrible. She described it as some awful, archaic way of life. And then she's pumping up the prospect of, no, women, you go out, get your careers, work hard. Don't even think about a family, because we have 20, 30 million illegals running over the border who will get the population up. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who the population is. Like, she's trying to make it sound like when Trump and Musk talk about getting the population of this country back up and getting childbirth to levels that it was years ago, Americans having kids, legal American citizens having kids, that it's the worst thing that could possibly happen to this country. And you have to wonder, like, why? What is the motivation there? Hillary Clinton's an old, white, racist woman. Let's be real here. But there's a bigger thing than just her personal ideology. She's part of a big machine that wants illegals to have a bunch of kids in this country. For what? To keep their Democrat power base going? Because they know that those are the people that will vote for them when they offer them crumbs every election. I think it's even more nefarious than that. But she's actually saying that's a problem. Oh, women, like years ago, like they're talking about women like they're just born to have kids. They are. They are, Hillary. That's what women do. The most amazing thing women do is have kids. And she's talking about it like it's this terrible thing. And then also talking about, oh, they're cutting, they want people to have children, but then they cut all these programs like daycare and this and that. And then she names a bunch of programs that are used by single mothers. Yeah, cut those programs if your population are having children with a father and a mother, husband and wife, and kids in a home where the mother takes care of the kids and the father works and supports the family. Then they don't need those programs. Hillary brings up these programs that are for these single moms that are just having kids to get benefits. And we sit here and listen to this, and some people actually buy into it. How this woman can get to a microphone every so often and spout this garbage is beyond me. You would think this would be extinct. Put her in a tar pit somewhere, like a mastodon. Her thinking, her ideology, her nonsense is archaic at this point. We want to be America. She talks about the 50s. No one's talking about going back to the 50s and incorporating everything from the 50s. But how about things like family and community? How about that? Respect. How about things like that from the horrible 50s? Appreciating the country. A little bit of nationalism, yeah. A little bit of flag waving and pride in nation. Shaming people. Shaming people is a huge benefit to a country. That's become something you can't possibly think of doing. It made for a good country when people were shamed for doing horrible things. But there she is. Another organization tossed her wheelbarrows full of money, gave her a microphone so she could just crap all over America, our values, our traditions. Oh, God, jeez. I can't stand it. But that's what we got. That's their girl. Oh, my God. All right, let's talk to, is this Deanna? Let me see. Deanna, what's up?
Yes. As a quick note, you want to poke a hole in her spin doctoring. Her daughter is a mother with children. Hello. And she spent $13 million of the money from Haiti on her wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens. That's the great, let's let immigrants and illegal immigrants come in and replace the kids that American families aren't having. That's her solution. It's one of the most racist things I've ever heard.
But her own daughter, Chelsea, has a family.
Yeah, she's a mother. She chose to be a mother and have a husband and a family. But everything they talk about, it doesn't mean them. Don't be silly. It's not them. Hillary and Bill and Chelsea, they don't live near these illegal immigrant families having 10 kids.
No, they're Democrats.
No.
It's okay.
Of course. You
Not
should live near them.
They can't have children.
And you should commit genetic suicide and not have kids and live near illegals that are... Yes, exactly, Deanna.
Yeah. And what about Rhodesia? The people starved when the farmers were murdered.
Yeah,
now
it happens.
We need those talented farmers here to make our farms better. It's an art form to be a farmer.
It is good for them, and they'll get exactly what they deserve.
I love your commentary.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Deanna from Brooklyn.
You.
Appreciate it. Yeah, they'll do well here. I assure you. But Hillary, that whole thing of just. I need to take a breath and clear the Hillary Clinton from my ears. We'll be right back with the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It is indeed the Anthony Cumia Show. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday evening with me. Yep. A lot of nonsense going on in this country, and we will let you know about it. The Comey thing that happened this week was, I don't know, pretty funny. But then there's a little twist to it. I don't know how many people actually got this information about what happened, because I've talked to a few people and they're like, what? No. Because the biggest thing was, hey, Comey put out this message in the sand, this 8647. He spelt it out in shells and rocks on a beach. First of all, gay. He spells it out, and everyone interpreted it as 86, which is get rid of 47th President Donald Trump. So get rid of Donald Trump. And a lot of people were, Trump supporters especially, exclusively, were saying this is a threat. This is a dangerous death threat against Donald Trump. I didn't quite take it that far. And believe me, people, I cannot stand Comey. I think he's one of the most corrupt people that were in an insane position of power and used that position of power for pure politics to try to do everything he could to get Donald Trump out of the presidency, and then so he couldn't run. I mean, what they did to Donald Trump with the Justice Department and the FBI is astounding, and Comey was right there. But was it indeed a death threat? People are trying to speculate as to what 86 means. Now, 86, yeah, 86 something. Hey, 86 that. It meant throw it away. Now, I don't know. Maybe if you're talking about a person, hey, I want them 86th. If you're the boss, it probably means get him fired. If you're John Gotti, I think everyone would know that he meant kill that person. So again, it might just mean the context you're using it in, and the fact that there was no context, only 8647. Yeah, get rid of, impeach him, arrest him, whatever it might be. But kill him, it's just not, there's not enough there. I don't think. I don't think. But, and seeing what's happened, believe me, I know people want to kill him. They want to kill Donald Trump. We've seen it. We saw the bloody ear and the guy waiting at his golf course. So I'm not saying they don't want to have this person killed, Donald Trump. They do. But this one might have been a little hard to actually go, look, he's calling for the murder of Donald Trump. The Secret Service gave him a visit. Took him downtown and had a talk with him. Nothing happens. I mean, I'm sure Comey knows how to sit there in front of some cops and trade cop stories. I don't think that was really that much of an issue. The internet was alive with people commenting on this. Some people went even further to advocate or at least call for the murder of the president. And a couple of those I actually heard got visits from the Secret Service also, which is good. That's what you want the Secret Service to do. I don't want to hear about it ex post facto that they're going to visit the person that already did it. So good. But here is the weirdest, creepiest part of the whole damn thing. On the day that Comey posted 8647, that was the amount of days that had passed since 9/11. 8,647 days had passed since 9/11, from 9/11 till the day that Comey made that post. And that is a little strange, a strange coincidence. Having the FBI having been so involved or not involved in that, I just found it really creepy, a little mysterious, right? That is a little strange, a little mysterious. But I don't know. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? I'm not really a big conspiracy guy, But Jesus, that seems a little conspiratorial. Doesn't it? I don't know. 8647. I even checked it myself. I went into Google. I asked Grok, how many days has it been since 9/11? I was like, 8,647 days. So, was it another message? I don't know. Have we heard from Alex Jones about that? Has he talked about that? 8647. Obviously, the days that have transpired between 9/11 and the date Comey put the shells in the sand. You know, I was listening to Jenny, 8675309, and that called for the assassination of JFK. Jenny, who can I turn to? Well, obviously JFK's limo. 23 Skidoo, what does that mean? Thank you, Alex. So I don't know, the number thing, but at least it didn't involve the other conspiratorial number things where they're like, well, if you take that number and add 3, because 3 represents this. It's literally the number. So I don't know. I did find that a little odd. We'll be right back in moments. Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome back. Anthony Cumia Show. Right here on this Sunday evening. We do appreciate your support. Oh boy. Is there one single rock and roller left that isn't a complete word? Let me see. Jagoff, is that a good one? What happened? What happened to rock and rollers? Boy, they're all establishment people now, man. So, as you probably heard, Bruce Springsteen is doing a gig overseas. He's over in the UK, I gather. And he just can't help himself. He's got to get up on stage, and instead of playing his storied catalog of boring Jersey Shore garbage, he has to badmouth the United States of America. Yeah, he was over there singing, doing his thing. He's like in his 70s now. A little Steven Van Zandt. I still think of him as Syl from The Sopranos, and you've got to watch him being an ass. But Bruce gets up there and on foreign territory. This is something people did not used to do. You didn't go overseas and crap on your country. If you have some kind of dissenting opinion on the government or whatever, you do it within your own borders. You speak at a protest, or if you do have a platform like a musician or actor, you know, babble your nonsense within our borders so you're not seeming like some foreign enemy. So he goes over there and he just starts crapping on Trump and the way this country is today. What did he say? Let's see. The mighty East Street Band is here tonight to call upon the righteous power of art, music, rock and roll. Ugh. In dangerous times. Is it dangerous, Bruce? Let me tell you what's dangerous. Take your blue jean, born in the USA ass to Newark or Camden, New Jersey. Yeah, we're in Jersey, man. Go to Camden or Newark and walk around there in the wee little hours of the morning. Make sure they know you have $1.2 billion. Do you know this guy, He goes overseas to badmouth America and talk about the oligarchs, the rich, the billionaires, the Trump man. Do you know Bruce Springsteen is worth $1.2 billion? He's one of the billionaires. He's one of the billionaires. There are 902 billionaires in the United States of America. This is a population of 40,000 at this point. 902 of them are billionaires. Bruce is one of those billionaires. As is Oprah Winfrey. She's one. But, it's okay for me, man. Because I was born in... All right, we get it, Bruce. What did he say? In my home, the America I love, the America I've written about, that has been the beacon of hope and liberty for 250 years is currently in the hands of a corrupt, incompetent, treasonous administration. You should have said that during the Biden administration, where they all lied about his mental and physical health. But no, he's good buddies with Joe Biden. Tonight we ask all who believe in democracy and the best of our American experiment to rise with us. Raise your voices against authoritarianism and let freedom ring. Born in... Yuck. Enough. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Excuse me, Bruce. This is Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC. You're talking about a little girl. Are you talking about sex? Hey, little girl, did you write these words, Bruce? Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go away and leave you all alone? I'm on fire. Did this little girl get you hot, Bruce? Are you on fire here on Dateline NBC? Well, I brought some Zima and some condoms. Is that okay? Is that okay? Enough with Bruce. So Trump, in his inimitable style, he wrote, I see that highly overrated. I love Trump in that Trump will, look, I cannot stand Bruce Springsteen. I saw him once at the Apollo Theater. Yes, I went to the Apollo. And I was impressed by the musicianship, like the band and everything, but I just can't stand his lame-ass music and his regular blue-collar Jersey Shore kind of guy. Oh, I can't stand it. But he does seem to have an audience. I'm not gonna say he doesn't have an audience. But Trump loves just tearing that up. I see that highly overrated Bruce Springsteen goes to a foreign country to speak badly about the President of the United States. Yes, that is something. An American citizen who, by the way, has done extremely well in this horrible, racist country, has done extremely well for himself. $1.2 billion. Going overseas to just talk crap about the country and the president because you don't like this president, even if you don't like Trump. I don't like this one. Well, you probably had presidents you don't like before. Did you get up on stage in a foreign country and badmouth them? They treated you pretty nicely, the citizens of this country. Oh, what a jagaff. Never liked him, never liked his music or his radical left politics. And importantly, he's not a talented guy. Just a pushy, obnoxious jerk who fervently supported crooked Joe Biden, a mentally incompetent fool. A mentally incompetent fool. This is gold, people. Gold. And our worst president, who came close to destroying our country. If I wasn't elected... So he's talking about Bruce, but he's got to be like, if I wasn't elected, it would have been gone by now. Sleepy Joe didn't have a clue as to what he was doing, but Springsteen is dumb as a rock and couldn't see what was going on. Or could he? Which is even worse. And this is amazing. This dried out prune of a rocker, and then in parentheses, his skin is all atrophied. Ought to keep his mouth shut until he gets back to the country. That's just standard fare. Then we'll see how it goes for him. Well, he's right in that it is standard fare. You don't go overseas to talk ill of your country. That made you a billionaire. Sorry you don't like Donald Trump. Sorry you're all about immigrants streaming in by the millions. Sorry you're about foreign countries screwing us royally economically with trade deals. So you don't like Trump for that. Sorry. But then you go overseas as a billionaire and trash the president. He's a piece of garbage. Just trash. And then, and this didn't surprise me, believe you me, if I may say that. Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam, he was doing a show in Pittsburgh, and he gets up and says nonsense. I know Pittsburgh technically isn't a foreign country. I was just there. I actually didn't mind Pittsburgh that much. The airport was run very well. But Vedder gets up and he plays a Bruce song and just talks trash about America. Is there one rocker left that isn't just this liberal run with the establishment? Don't they understand that's the establishment? Being Biden, a Biden guy, is the establishment. The media crowing over lies about President Biden, and you're a rough and tumble, rebellious rocker, and you're all about what the establishment is doing, lying to the American people, a lying, dishonest press that has puppet masters all over the world working it, but you're a rugged rock and roll guy. Yeah, I don't like that Donald Trump. Do you? It's embarrassing. Jackoffs. We'll be right back. Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Everyone loves talking about Steven Singer, my good friend Steven Singer. You've heard the expression a million times. I hate Steven Singer because most other jewelers hate him. They can't stand the guy. Why, you ask? Because Steven Singer delivers the best quality, real diamond jewelry at the very best possible price every single day. He makes it so easy to buy real diamond jewelry for someone you love. And he makes it fun. Yeah, I'm not kidding. No phony sales, discounts, or pricing games. Steven wouldn't treat his friends any other way. So why would he treat you differently? Steven Singer. He's a jeweler you can trust. Steven also has the best guarantee in the jewelry business, a full 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, plus fast, free shipping all year long. Experience the difference. Visit our good friend Steven Singer in his showroom at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or more conveniently online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Real, natural, rare earth-born diamonds from a real jeweler you can trust. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Welcome back. Let's take a call from Tony in Florida with an I, so it's either a gay man or a woman. Tony, what's up?
Hi, Anthony.
Oh,
what a great
God.
name.
Yes, of course, Tony. How are you? And you want to talk about James Comey, I see.
Yeah. You know, he kind of set a trap for himself there. He denies putting that there. He denies knowing what it says.
Right.
That it was a threat to the president or encouraging someone to harm the president.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, he knew it was a message. Now, how would he know that? And not only did he know it was a message, just some numbers. I mean, everybody would come to that conclusion, right?
Right.
Not only did he know it was a message, he knew it was a political message.
Yeah, why would he post it?
Of him.
Right. Unless he knew that it was that many days since 9/11, I would say he knew it was a political message about getting rid of Donald Trump. I'm not going to go as far as to say he meant kill Donald Trump. I think it's like 86 him, get rid of him, whatever method you choose. But to say he didn't know what it means, you're the head of the FBI, and you don't know what 86 means? You must have heard it 1,000 times. So he's a liar. He's just another one of these liars.
I saw the numbers before I knew what was going on, you know, and that's the first thing that came to my mind was nix the president.
Right. That's what it means. Nix the president. Whatever nix means can be interpreted, but you can't say it doesn't mean get rid of him in some way.
No,
and then you
can't.
can't say, you know, as the head of the FBI that you don't know what 86 something means. So, yeah, he's a liar. Awesome. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
There goes Tony. Lovely Tony. Just looking at other calls to see. Let's talk about, the youth of America. A couple of angles here on that. The first being the Starbucks employees. This just, I cannot ever get enough of watching young Americans. And I mean, 20s, early 20s even. Because some late 20s, they at least start to wake up. Early 20s, the people that you would normally see working at a Starbucks, they just can't understand that you work somewhere and you have a boss, and the boss tells you what to do, and then you have to do it. That's how it works. Now, obviously, there are some circumstances that I can't even imagine how rare they are, where the boss is doing something that breaks labor laws. You can't make people do certain things as an employer. But for the most part, it's the give and take, the, Christ, I got to do this, of being an employee and having a boss. We've all been there. It sucks. You can hate your boss. If you want to make money, you got to go in and do your job. That's just how it works. But there's this mindset with the young people of this country that they have say over everything they do, no matter what it is. They don't have to show the police their license. They don't have to get out of the vehicle when a policeman asks. And at work, they don't have to do what their bosses tell them to do. A completely reasonable request by a boss. And the latest one is Starbucks. Now, I have no sympathy for Starbucks in this. They made it a mission to hire, I hate to say retards, but I think I got to. They have hired people that have no concept of what life is all about, how you live a life as an adult. They just don't know. So Starbucks made this insane request that instead of coming in to work with all the various buttons and flags and I'm gay and I support Ukraine or this or Israel or Gaza or whatever, Starbucks goes, hey, we want you to wear a black T-shirt, maybe some khaki colored shorts, and then the logo thing on a hat or whatever, the Starbucks logo. And that's going to be our dress code now. And they lost their minds. They just can't understand because they want to show the world what morons they are. When you step up and want to get your cup of coffee, they want you to know that the most important thing in their life is that you recognize that they are part of the LGBTQA plus community. And to not be able to shove that down the people's faces with their croissant and coffee, it just disturbs them to you can't even imagine the level of mental anguish they have to deal with by not being able to tell the world how amazing they are, how supportive of every little group in this country, how supportive they are. So they started striking. What a great idea. You're 100% unskilled labor. There's nothing you are doing that someone off the street cannot be put in and do after an hour of showing that. And I'm giving them a lot of time here. I think you could take anyone off the street and in an hour they can be a barista. The screwed thing was that you gave them that name in the first place. I'm a barista. No, you're a clerk. You're a clerk at a coffee and snack place. You gave them a fancy name and they believe it. They think they're baristas. So they're striking, and they don't, a lot of younger people don't realize their job hangs by a thread between technology, which is taking over a lot of these. You see McDonald's, they have kiosks now instead of people behind the counter because they were forced by the government to pay their employees like $25 an hour. And that just doesn't make it a viable business. You can't sell hamburgers at a price that people will pay when you have to pay the mutant that's making the burgers $20 an hour. So they don't realize that all of their jobs hang by a thread. And no matter how much they whine and bitch about it, it's not going to change. They'll be gone. It's easier to get rid of them. So a lot of these companies are doing that. So, but don't think that they're waking up, like places like Starbucks are realizing, like, we want our logo out there. We don't want this virtue signaling liberal ideology and agenda in front of our customers. They just go which way the wind blows. When wokeness and all that was a big thing during the Biden administration, and people were getting in trouble for not supporting those causes, well, they made sure their employees were wrapped in that nonsense. But now it's all money. Now Trump is in office. People are seeing that as the nonsense it was. And the company goes, well, we want to make money. We want to be able to relate to the people that are coming in. And more of the people coming in have ideologies that aren't consistent with these freaks of nature, where their face looks like it was shot. You put Forever 21 jewelry in a shotgun and fired it at their face. That's what I did. Doesn't it look great? And that's who's serving you. So I think they realize, well, the wind blew this way, so now we're going to change our policy and how our employees dress and their appearance. So no credit to Starbucks for going, oh, finally, they're realizing they'll go back in a second if the wind blows that way again, which I hope it doesn't, but let's be real. We'll be back. I want to talk about Liz Warren. She said some stuff about Elon, always trashing Elon. In moments, the Anthony Cumia Show will return.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Let's go right to Paul in Queens. Hey there, Paul. What do you say, sizzle chest? What do you say? We go out night on the town. We paint each other up. How you doing, Paul?
Good evening, Anthony. Hey, I just realized when you talk to a police officer on the street, they usually are smart. But when you had the ex-guy who was fired, and now we have a good reason why he's fired, because he was a gumshoe at one point. If this guy couldn't see on the beach that you had something that makes an idea that somebody's trying to knock somebody off, and you're the head of the FBI, he deserves to be fired.
Well, yeah, sure. But he's lying. It's not even that he didn't know or he's too stupid. Comey's not a stupid guy, I don't think. I think he's stupid in the sides he chooses and how he sees the country and what he thinks is a positive direction for the country. But I don't think he's a stupid man. So he absolutely knew.
You know what I think? He's actually the guy from Chaos, and he's acting like Get Smart. He's just completely an idiot. That's all he is.
All right. With that reference, can I ask you, Paul? Can I ask you how old a gentleman you are, Paul?
After my stroke, currently I'm at 62.
All right. I knew you were up there making a Get Smart reference. I appreciate it. Take it easy, man.
The guy from Chaos.
Yeah, Chaos.
Young kids don't understand. They wouldn't even get it these days.
No, of course not. All right. I can't seem to drop Paul on the call. Maybe you people at the studio can. Thank you. That's what happens. It's I don't know the computers. No, I'm a pretty savvy boomer, as they call it. Why isn't my? Oh, I'll continue. Huh? My mouse doesn't seem to be working. Oh, you had to do that. I get you now. Okay, we're all good now. There it is. Joaquin from Pennsylvania. I was just in Pittsburgh this weekend, your lovely state.
Yes.
You want to talk about the wonderful Jersey's own Bruce Springsteen. What's up?
Yes, I do. Well, as a matter of fact, first I would like to begin by saying that every day I thank God for Biden's cognitive decline, because that was the speed bump in the destruction of the company, because it was the agenda that he was propagating. This was not, I'm an idiot and I'm doing this.
Right.
This was all deliberate. So
yes.
Thank you, Lord, every day for his cognitive decline. And you know what? You old curmudgeonly white guy, why don't you just sit down and shut up and let them conquer you? In other words, the story of the world has been the story of those who conquer and those who are being conquered. And that's what's happening in this country right now, and actually around the world. And there's Bruce Springsteen over in Europe. And guess what? They're overrun by Middle Easterners.
Oh, yeah.
People, you have cultures and civilizations that they just can't coexist together. One is going to win out over the other. And you know what?
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, it's astounding to me that so many people, Europeans, white people, white Americans, that they're so eager and so supportive of other cultures, religions, races, whatever it may be, to get rid of them. You see them, they'll say it plain and clear and go, I can't wait till white people are off the face of this earth, or, I can't wait till America is minority white. And you go, I'm not even saying it in a racist way. What do you think is going to happen when that happens? You're not going to be catered to. your ideology, what you need to live, is going to be second to something else. And why would you appreciate that? How much guilt do you have? How much self-hatred do you have in your life where you're yearning for that? What tools?
And, think about this, okay? South Africa, well, they're going to starve, but you know what? Take a look at Gaza. What Hamas wants, the Palestinian people want, is that they want complete control, in other words, submission to Allah and to Islam. And there will be no peace and no compromise without that. And to Russ, I'd like to troll him a second. My parents grew up in World War II Germany, and as children, they were subjected to the aerial bombings. They had to go to bomb shelters, because they lived in an enemy country. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm alive today because my mother's family, they were saved by little dachshund that was a psychic that for some reason wouldn't let anyone into the one bomb shelter. And so they decided to go someplace else, and that one took a direct hit. So
a little dog saved your family?
The dog would not let anyone near the bomb shelter, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And so they decided, so they went someplace else. And sure enough, that one took a direct hit.
Wow.
But as far as the people in Gaza go, they are, Hamas is the army of the Palestinian people. So unfortunately, there's going to be casualties of war, and they're all for this, and they won't be happy unless they completely rule all of Israel from the river to the sea. So, unfortunately, Israel has to do what it has to do, and from that point of view, I am a Zionist. I mean, the Jews, they allow people to live peacefully with them, but if it's the other way around, it's not going to happen.
It's like it's like in Clerks when they were talking about the Death Star and the guys that were just working on the Death Star. It's like, those poor bastards, they're just trying to they got a job, like the plumber on the Death Star. He's not involved in the war between the Empire and the rebellion, but he took the job. He needs to feed his family. And then all of a sudden this young kid puts a missile up the exhaust pipe, and his family's getting word that their father was killed. It's like, well, you got to take a little accountability for who you're working for or working with or it's laying down with, stuff like that. Thank you, Joaquin. I always hearken back to cartoons or a Kevin Smith movie when I want to get serious about something. Let me see. What the hell time we got? Liz Warren, she pops up in my timeline a lot. I cannot stand her. She's one of these Democrats that, and most of them are this, especially the old ones like Pelosi and Waters, and she just has nothing new. All she can do is preach the same garbage she's been preaching for years. And it failed miserably in November of 24, but for some reason they just can't get off of it. So she'll still talk about, they're trying to cut Medicaid, and this is a terrible thing for our constituents. It's like, they're not. They're cutting the waste in Medicaid. The redundant jobs in the Medicaid organization, the Veterans Administration. Oh, they're cutting the vets, so the Veterans Administration. No, the 10, 20 people working jobs that one person can do in the administration. They want to make you think that they're pulling food out of disabled vets' hands in a hospital somewhere. No. But again, they're the ones that have been pocketing this money. They're the ones who benefit from taxpayer dollars going to the Veterans Administration. So they don't want to see that go away. It's been their bread and butter. So Liz Warren, her thing now, all she does constantly is talk crap about Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And even that's an old thing. Like Musk still goes. Musk was in the Middle East with Trump when Trump was hammering out literally billions of dollars, trillions, $2 trillion. He signed deals with Saudi Arabia and Qatar and it was $2 trillion of deals that he closed with countries in the Middle East. One of which, I like this, they were screaming, of course, about the 747 that Qatar wants to give Donald Trump, which it isn't Trump. You give it to the Air Force. The Air Force are in charge of Air Force One, and that plane is given to the American military. But it's Trump gets this plane, and then it's like, well, he still gets to keep it afterwards. Well, hopefully Boeing, who has been decimated by diversity, equity, and inclusion, so they weren't able to get the 747s for Air Force One out on time, hopefully they give that up and actually get these jets made. But in the meantime, even though they screwed up that, Trump made a $96 billion deal with Qatar. A $96 billion Boeing order. So Qatar's getting planes, doing business with Boeing, hence America, for $96 billion. And the Democrats are bitching over a $40 million 747 on loan to the Air Force so Donald Trump can use it. But that's what Trump's doing. And they just can't get over it. And like I said, Liz Warren is one of these that just won't stop. No matter what Trump does, no matter what Elon and Doge does, it's terrible. So what Liz was talking about is that she was bitching that Trump was giving Elon sweetheart deals. They love using these phrases that no one knows what it really means. Oh, he gave him a sweetheart deal on Starlink. Well, what does that mean? Give me a dollars and cents assessment of what a sweetheart deal is. There's never numbers. It's just, corruption, sweetheart deal, payback. What did Donald Trump give Elon Musk that helped Starlink? And she just says that. Now, meanwhile, let's look at what Starlink has done. It's unprecedented. I talk about it a lot, and I hope people really do understand the miracle that is Starlink. This isn't a commercial. I'm talking about the technology. If you don't want it, don't buy it. I'm not trying to sell it to anybody. But the technology, this guy had to build a rocket company to build the Starlink company. You don't just all of a sudden go, I want to make a satellite, high-speed satellite internet that's going to be available to the entire globe. What do you got to do? Well, I got to build a rocket company first. All right. Let's see your first test. Oh, they're blowing up. Yeah, eventually. But then you get a guy like Elon with such stick-to-itiveness, if I may be so bold, that it works. He builds a rocket company. He gets the technology together with people that he hires, brilliant people, to build satellites and put them in orbit by the thousands that make it possible for someone in the rainforests of the Amazon to get high-speed internet. I'm fascinated. There are people that have given up their regular lives. They buy sailboats, small ones, 20-something footers, 20, 30 footers, and they sail around the world. And we get to watch every second of them in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You're seeing a live update from these people. And the only reason that's possible is because of Elon Musk and Starlink and SpaceX. And what does Liz Warren have to say? He's giving them a sweetheart deal. You know what a sweetheart deal is? The fact that Kamala Harris was given millions upon millions, I think it's billions, $2 billion, to supply high-speed internet to rural areas of just the United States, the middle of the country. There's some farms where they could probably link up with some of the satellite systems that are up now, but they're not high speed. And they were given the job, Kamala Harris was given the job to supply high-speed internet to the rural areas of the United States, given billions of dollars to do this. Not one house in this country was ever wired for high-speed internet under that program that Kamala Harris was in charge of. Not one. And in the interim, Elon Musk launched his rockets and put his satellites up. And now you could literally be in the middle of the Sahara Desert and communicate with friends, family, emergencies if you have them, high-speed internet access. And he's the villain. He's the bad guy that needs to be looked at and investigated. And we need to study where the funds went. If he got government grants to help him put this satellite matrix up in orbit to give the world high-speed internet, now they want to look into it? How about looking into things that billions went to that got no results? I think no matter what the government gave Elon Musk in grants, it is far less than what he gave the world in this technology, especially when you compare it to the likes of Kamala Harris, who was given billions of dollars and didn't supply one single household with high-speed internet. But that's what they do. They lie, they cheat, they steal, and then they condemn people that are actually doing something. I think the future is going to look at Elon Musk and the Trump presidency very favorably in the course of history. I think eventually Elon is going to be looked at like Nikola Tesla was looked at, and Edison and the Wright brothers and some of these, Steve Jobs, some of these amazing innovators that were idea people and knew to hire the people that could get that job done. Because you hear that all the time, too. Elon isn't building rocket motors. Steve Jobs didn't make the iPhone. He hired people. Yeah, they're called brilliant people that have ideas and the ability and the gumption, if I may, to see it through. They don't give up. They see it through. And those are the people that have given us such amazing things over the course of the years, in just historic things that are written about for forever. They'll be written about. And we got to listen to the likes of Liz Warren saying how he needs to be investigated, or Jasmine Crockett. We'll talk about Jasmine Crockett and Elon when we come back. So don't go anywhere. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Everyone loves talking about Steven Singer, my good friend Steven Singer. You've heard the expression a million times. I hate Steven Singer, because most other jewelers hate him. They can't stand the guy. Why, you ask? Because Steven Singer delivers the best quality, real diamond jewelry at the very best possible price every single day. He makes it so easy
to buy real diamond jewelry for someone you love. And he makes it fun. Yeah, I'm not kidding. No phony sales, discounts, or pricing games. Steven wouldn't treat his friends any other way. So why would he treat you differently? Steven Singer. He's a jeweler you can trust. Steven also has the best guarantee in the jewelry business, a full 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee, plus fast, free shipping all year long. Experience the difference. Visit our good friend Steven Singer in his showroom at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly, or more conveniently online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Real, natural, rare earth-born diamonds from a real jeweler you can trust. Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. We here at the Anthony Cumia Show. It's me. I see a cat. Where's the dog? We at the Anthony Cumia Show absolutely want to thank you people for the support you've given this program since I joined up with this great organization here. Broadcast radio, my friends. But I appreciate it. I really, really do. You guys have been great, very supportive, and yeah, we'll keep doing this till they throw my ass right out on the street again. No, I hope that does not happen. But it is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Jasmine Crockett. She is, and as I've said before, this is part of the Democrat strategy. They put these mental patients out there like Jasmine, and old school people that no one pays attention to anymore, like Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders, and then the young up-and-coming radical leftists like AOC. They put them all out there. Trump is 100 and some odd days in. They are storming the beaches, these mental patients, because they know that in a couple of years, when they need a real viable Democrat candidate, and I don't know who that is. I don't know if anyone knows who that is. Gavin Newsom, he's already very tainted. He's been looked at as this insane leftist mental patient. So I don't think it's that. I think you're going to see something like we saw in 92 with Bill Clinton. They are going to find someone that hasn't been tainted by this insanity that we've seen from the left the past few years, and especially those years during the Biden debacle. And this guy's going to come out, and it will be a guy, because they're going to get a more traditional, because they see that's what works. That's what sells. That's what people will support. Middle of the road people. They don't want these crazy leftists, but they might not want a Republican. They're Democrats. They're like, I will never vote a Republican. But boy, I sure would like someone a little more moderate than these lunatics we've been seeing on the left. So they'll put a guy up there that you might not even know right now, and he will start talking about things like the economy. Remember Clinton? It's the economy, stupid. That was like their catchphrase. Trade, foreign trade, the border, and he'll talk about it in a reasonable, sensible way. And everyone in this country is going to go, oh, this is wonderful. This guy, finally, a Democrat that sounds reasonable. So the mental patients you're seeing right now are cannon fodder. That is what they're throwing out at everybody just so the guy they pick when the election gets closer looks reasonable. It's the forced perspective kind of a thing. So I'm looking forward to see who that's going to be. But mark my words, It won't be Jasmine Crockett. She's one of the mental patients that they've thrown out there. Here she is talking about, again, on some talk show, smearing Elon and Doge and SpaceX and Starlink and the wonderful accomplishments. This guy's done something for the world, whether you like him or not, whether you like his personality, whether you like his politics. He has done something for the world. And here's do nothing, want to sound ghetto, Jasmine Crockett. Let's hear her, shall we?
Doge is nothing but a cover-up. Like, it's a scam, kind of like...
What's the cover-up for?
For, Elon Musk. Like,
what's the cover-up for?
Well, because, like, they made it seem like they were here to do good, but this was really just a matter of a bad guy coming in and saying, hey, I want this contract, that contract. And yes, I have a conflict of interest, but no worries. And while I'm at it, let me fire this person who has this many investigations that they're looking into for Tesla, this person who has this many investigations that they're looking into for SpaceX. Let me save myself some money while also enriching myself at the same time. It was a complete sham. This was never about government efficiency, because if it was, we would have started with defense, where now he wants to take the budget up to a whopping $1 trillion, and they have not been able to pass an audit in the last 7 audits.
Yeah, that wasn't Trump, the last 7 audits. Maybe it wasn't his first term. Defense. He wants a strong defense. So cut all the nonsense and garbage, and we can build a defense that's real, not a defense that pays for a surgery for transgender soldiers, or a defense where we give away our weaponry to other nations, or we give away money to other nations out of our defense budget. Because that's happened too. So, but the fact that she can just talk about Elon Musk like that, and what have you done? She's a wannabe. I've seen her speeches, and not even speeches, interviews when she was much younger, college girl, and just amazingly articulate. And she wasn't using slang. And now she sees that, like, that's getting her popularity. Sounded a little ghetto. I went to their house. They house? What, you went to their house or their house? But that's what she does now. That's her thing. Bash the Republicans, bash Trump, bash Elon, who has done things for you, and then just, be a ghetto girl. Anyway, we'll be back next week. I love the fact that you people are supporting this program. We will see you next Sunday on the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.